Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back to the DIDNA Dialogue. My name's Josh, and today we have the head of clients over at Aniview, Yael Schuster. Yael, to kick us off, would you mind sharing a little bit about your background and the history in the industry?
Sure. So nice to meet you guys. Thanks for the time, Josh. My name's Yael. I've been in the ad tech industry for a little over 10 years. I started out at a network doing display, then eventually moved on to a company called Interactive, which was then acquired by Fiverr, who has an SDK for in-app publishers. And I joined Anyview in 2015 as the first client success manager. I've since then grown within the company to be the head of clients. So I've been in the industry for a little bit over 10 years.
Very cool. Yeah, it seems like you kind of worked your way up there. So you mentioned display, and now before jumping into Anyview, how did you? Was that just kind of like a natural progression? It's kind of with the industry too, going from display over to video, or did you want to stay in display? How did you find your way over to Anyview?
Actually, it just kind of happened. It wasn't something that I was planning on doing. In the company that where I first started in the ad tech industry, I started out as an account manager, then I became the team leader. And at some point it became not challenging enough, I would say.
Yeah.
So I was looking for something else. There was a small leap from display to mobile apps, but that didn't last too long. I was only 6 months there. And then, a friend was working at Anyview and he was like, well, we're looking for someone. Do you want to come give it a try? And that's how I ended up here. It wasn't like I was planning on moving from display to video. But I do think it's like the logical choice, or it was at the time, and I do think that that's how things probably should evolve, and that's probably what they did.
Yeah, for sure. And I know we're going to talk about some of the future to Anyview and even the ad industry on video, but before diving into that, could you share a little more about Anyview? So where does Anyview sit in the very complicated ad ecosystem that we have?
Yeah, so I'll tell you a bit about Anyview as a company, and then it'll be a little bit clear as to where we are or what part of the industry we're at. So Anyview was founded in 2013, and initially the company was providing a video player for advertising. We actually have a patent for autoplay on mobile, both in Israel and in the States. The company initially provided that player that was integrated within a third-party ad server. Some may know it. It's called LiveRail. But LiveRail was acquired by Facebook also in 2015, and there was the idea or the need to also have our own ad server. And we decided to launch it a little bit before LiveRail started kicking everyone out. So it was perfect timing for us. So that's sort of the evolution of the company. Nowadays, Anyview provides a holistic solution for everything video, mainly video advertising, but we also have a little bit of I would say interaction with content. We have the video player, we still have it. We have the ad server. We launched an SDK for Android and iOS. We're going into this whole OTT sphere. So our capabilities in the ad server and SDK include server-side ad insertion, ad podding, ad stitching, everything related to that. And we're also planning on launching our own video CMS platform. So where exactly we are in the industry, so we're a technology provider, first and foremost, but we also have a marketplace. The idea being that whomever uses our technology or is interested in some sort of component that we offer, they can also benefit from the relationships that we've built out over the years, whether they're supply partners or demand partners, or if you want to call them publishers and advertisers.
Yeah. Very cool. So as head of client, then, so you get to see, and I know we had this experience at DIDNA, you've gotten to see a lot of different, let's call them clients. You were talking about advertisers and publishers, but in your opinion, from what you've seen and what you guys have grown into, what is your primary client or the person that you normally work with?
So we like to divide them into two parts. we're talking about either direct clients that can be publishers, so any website owner or app developer, or even OTT publishers or media publishers that have their own properties online. And then we have what we would call aggregators. That can be networks or companies that sort of work with those publishers. That's on the supply side. On the demand side, it's pretty much, we're talking about SSPs where we have a relationship with for the marketplace. Or we also have I think some would also call them networks that have those relationships. Like I know we have a client here in Colombia that they have agency relationships. So they onboard their direct campaigns onto the Anyview platform so that they can share it with other partners. So those are the kind of partners, not clients. I don't like to call them clients, but we're partners.
I like it. Partners. Okay. So, and you, do you get to deal with every single partner that comes through the door?
No. I'm actually heading the department that deals with the partners that use our technology. The marketplace is a standalone team. They have their own account managers and campaign managers, if you want to call them like that.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay. And has that strategy evolved from Aniview creating additional products? So you mentioned the ad server, you mentioned the CMS project that you guys are going to be working on, the actual video player. So much stuff going on. You guys are building a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Is that kind of driving that strategy at all?
I think they go hand in hand. I don't think that one is responsible for the other, but they're mutually responsible for each other.
Yeah.
We've seen a huge growth starting in late 2019, and 2020 was like a very good year for us where we saw a big growth in terms of clients or partners, like I said.
Yeah.
And, you know, one of the things that has sort of highlighted Anyview or made Anyview like unique in a way throughout the years is that a lot of the features and capabilities that we've developed over the years have been with our partners in mind, whether the actual features come in as requests from our partners or whether it's sort of stemming from like a brainstorming session that we've had with those partners. So I think, you know, the type of clients definitely sort of affects the strategy that we have, but also the strategy affects the type of clients we onboard.
Yeah. Very cool. And I know you said founded in 2013, right?
Yes.
So founded in 2013, and being 2021, it's been around a while, and it's, I wouldn't necessarily say a startup, but you guys are responding as agile as a startup, right? Because not a lot of people listen to customers all the time, or partners in this case. This is coming from the sales guy, right? So not everyone listens to partners and actually takes some of the features and creates that. Is that something that's been kind of baked into the Aniview culture?
Yeah, it's definitely part of the DNA of the company. You know, a couple years ago, I was working on one of our sales decks, and this the girl that was working on it with me said something, and I think it really stuck, which is we think tech, but we act business. So, you know, it's been like that ever since I joined, and you know, nowadays it's a little bit hard to keep it like that since we've grown from, let's say, 50 partners to 200 partners. So we
Right.
can't always get to everything every single client asks for, but we try to be, you know, as flexible as possible, still keeping like a roadmap and a vision in line within what we actually develop.
Yeah.
So it's a mix of what clients ask for, what we think is relevant, and what we want to accomplish
Yeah.
in terms of strategy.
Excellent. So talking about strategy for a second, and you can either address this as Aniview as a whole or the client success side, head of client.
Yeah.
For 2021, with the way I think, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I feel OTT and CTV are really starting to take off. Audio is even
Definitely.
next. How do you think the changes in the industry for 2021? Because we're in a very different spot last year in March. So where do you think 2021 will take you and your team and even Aniview?
Yeah, so like I said, OTT is a big focus for us this year.
Mm,
We launched the client side SDK, the SSI, and the ad podding and ad stitching, component for OTT is also something that we're working really hard on, and that's sort of, I would say, the biggest project that we're undertaking this year.
yeah.
Um, our goal is to be a full stack solution for everything video. And I read the other day that ad spend only in the US for CTV is expected to grow from $8.1 billion to 11 point something. I don't remember the actual
Yeah.
numbers this year. So we definitely want to be there. We definitely want to be a part of that.
It's a decent
And we,
increase.
we already are.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's a decent increase. $2 billion in a year. It's not bad.
Not bad at all. Yeah, and it's at the end of the day, it's where the industry goes, that sometimes kind of leads company strategies. Like I said, we try to make it part of our own, by listening to our clients and what they think is relevant for us to develop and what they think, we can do to help them grow their businesses. And that's the client success part of it.
Yeah.
And that's what my team actually does. But we also want to know what we can actually accomplish. So we're trying to be a solution that provides technology to those clients, but we also try, in some cases, to also be agnostic to what
Mhm.
our publishers also have or require. So we try to, we have a whole solution, the video player, the SDK, the ad server, but in some cases, publishers are already working with one of those components. So we don't want it to be sort of like a deal breaker where we say, no, no, you take all what we offer or nothing. So that's also something that's driving a lot, of our efforts in 2021, which is, to make sure that all the solutions that we offer our partners can work either as a whole package or as components of a different package.
Yeah, no, I think that's really important too because the industry has kind of expanded to include a whole bunch of stuff, right? And I
Yeah.
feel I'm starting to see consolidation in certain areas too, where maybe certain SSPs are starting to come together and create one, and it might include a DMP aspect too. So people are starting to come together a little more versus
Yeah.
just continuing to expand. That kind of sounds like what you guys are doing, and be able to do that will be able to provide the right kind of value to the right publisher at the right time.
Yeah, for sure. That's the goal and that's the idea. There are a lot of big companies out there, and I think that in some ways you keep hearing about new and more of these companies, but you also hear about a lot of consolidation. Like for example, Rubicon merging with Talaria and then
Yeah.
becoming Magnite, and now Magnite acquiring Spot Exchange. So that really leaves very few, I would say maybe competitors, although that's probably not the right word to use
Yeah.
in the industry. Uh, but it also means that your competitors have a whole bunch of technology or a whole bunch of solutions that they can offer instead of just being one for this, one for that. And I think that's also part of what we want to accomplish, to be like a solution for everything.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's the way to survive in this industry, realistically. I think
Yeah.
and it's very different from where I've been before, is that you need to target and become very siloed and understand your vertical. But outside of being a publisher, if you're an ad tech company, if you're a platform, you have to kind of keep your mind open to saying like, I got a piece of an SSP here. I'm also an ad server. There's a lot of pieces that you should and need to be able to say to be able to compete.
Yes, but you also need to have good technology. It's not enough to
Yes.
say I have an ad server. I
Yeah.
think I think having a good ad server is a big difference. And oh yeah, I have an ad server, and I think that's something that we've accomplished at Anyview.
Yeah.
Our ad server is super robust, and it's something that we've been working on for quite a while, and we keep on working on it. It's not as if we developed it. Okay, next. We keep on working on all these projects and all these components that we offer.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I've talked to a lot of publishers where you'll hear the conversation that, okay, you guys have the same demand as everybody else, or you're an SSP like everybody else. But you bring up a really good point. A lot of times people can't see the tech that's actually working until you actually get to start working with them. Then you're like, oh wow, actually
Exactly.
it's not just an ad server. You are a great ad server because of the technology and the team behind it.
Exactly. That's the second part of it. That's not just about technology, and it's the second part of Anyview that I'm super proud of, which is the people, the DNA, and the reason why we've managed to accomplish so much on a technological aspect is
Mhm.
not just because of an amazing R&D department. It's also because a very good team of people. And like I said at the beginning of this call, we don't call them clients, we call them partners because we develop those relationships, and that's what makes our partners trust us to be able to tell us, okay, listen, I need you to develop this feature. So that's the second and most important part of it. It's not just the good tech; it's the good tech combined with a good relationship with a good team of people.
Yeah, well said. Well said. So I normally would ask what's your advice for publishers, but I can't do that for this one because you've got multiple partners. So if you could
Exactly.
give me a breakdown or your even if it's a single nugget or a piece of advice for your different partners, because I think and I could be wrong, but I feel your advice for a publisher in navigating the ad industry is probably going to be a little different from an ad tech partner navigating the
Yeah.
industry, right? So could you kind of break it out by partner and give me a piece of advice for everybody else watching too?
Yeah, for sure. So I think that, ad tech partners, like you referred to them, or what we call aggregators or networks, they probably
Mhm.
have like a set vision as to what they want to accomplish. And in most cases, they act like a middleman. So they know what verticals to go for. So it's kind of hard to give these kind of companies some sort of advice. They're probably like, not to say they're boxed into their beliefs, but they already have some sort of strategy.
Yeah,
I think that for publishers, website owners, app developers or media owners, whatever you want to call them, the biggest piece of advice I could give them is to really be true to what they know and what they want to achieve. It's no secret that advertising is part of the reason why they can stay alive, and in order for them to produce content they need to get some revenues, and advertising is probably the easiest way to do it. uh, but it's not just as simple as I'll take a tag from everyone else and I'll just add it to my website and I'll bombard the user with things like that. I would say staying true to what they want and what they want to achieve at the end of the day, in addition to sort of keeping the user in mind. And this advice doesn't really come from me as part of the ad tech industry. It also comes as being a user. When you walk into or go into a website and just see a billion ads, where's the content? Just that one paragraph? That's
yeah,
not some I'm not going to return to that website if that's the case. So as much as I understand the need for generating revenues, you also need to stick to some sort of balance.
yeah.
So that's probably what I would say.
That's solid advice. I feel yeah, a lot of people I think as a publisher get stuck on making the most money as possible, right? Most ad revenue as possible. And it's kind of counterintuitive because you have 3 or 4 ads, density is not too aggressive, and you actually make more money versus, like you said, a single line of copy and 12 ads. It's actually going to completely destroy your site's value.
Yeah. And especially when it comes to video where you have both outstream units and in-stream units, so you need to know where the breaking point is. You're not going to start adding 5 different video players all over your website, because then you're not going to get that user back. So knowing where the breaking point is between, you know, 5 ads, or let's say like a pre-roll, mid-roll, post-roll strategy, as opposed to 20 different video players all, showing ads,
Yeah.
outstream ads all over the page. Of course, that also comes with its obstacles, because content you need to license it and or create your own, and that also costs money. But you need to know where the balance is.
Yeah. Does Aniview and your team provide that kind of guidance? Because I feel some people trying to get into video don't know what they're doing, right?
Um, we haven't had to.
Yeah,
Most of the partners that we've worked with in the past already have like a set strategy in mind where they know how many ads to show, how many pre-rolls, how many mid-rolls, and how to
yeah,
sort of uh, break it down or set it up. But we are more than happy to help and provide that kind of advice to our partners.
yeah. I mean, speaking on the DIDNA side, I know we're not necessarily a publisher, but working with owned and operated publishers, it's been a pleasure working with you guys because you're always ready to go and actually take a call with us, walk us through a lot of stuff. So it's been fun. What
Yeah.
before we sign off today, what's the easiest way for anybody watching, publishers and vendors, to get in contact with you and Aniview?
Uh, Directly through our website. I mean, we have a contact us form right there. Whenever you log into it, if you start browsing through the different pages for the ad server, the player, anything, there's always like a sign up to our newsletter at the bottom or a contact us page so they can just sign up. Or they can send an email to info@anyview.com and then someone from our business development team will reach back to them.
Sweet, piece of cake. Well,
Yep.
thank you for watching today, everybody. If you have any questions, comments, leave them in the comment section below. Go ahead and like the video if you like the content today. And if you have any other ideas on who you'd like to have on the DIDNA Dialogue, please also let us know. Yael, thanks for jumping on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you and have a great day.